Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Harakah Kadash, double honors to the apostles and elders, great most on the rule well. Shalom to the brothers doing the work, sharing truth. Just kind of wanted to go over, this scripture, man, because I'm just meditating on it, and it's it's applicable because you feel like now, well, the apostles have been around for the longest, and as far as with the truth, key thing as well, the prophecies, it's all been on point, and yet you still have naysayers. You still have the what's the word? People talking crud. Actual word. What's I looking for? Scoffers. But as far as when you go into the scriptures, that's something that it lays it out plainly. It really lays out plainly, like, who when we're dealing with who the truth, who's got the truth, comes down to what, spirit of prophecy, man. That's a big key aspect of it. So I read this, Matthew 12:22. It says, "Then was brought unto him one possessed with a devil, blind and dumb, and he healed him, insomuch that the blind and dumb both spake and saw. And all the people were amazed and said, Is this not the son of David?" And yeah, though the miracles Yahushua did were to the point where it's people really couldn't contest or gainsay it, even though they still did. Why? Because they had demons on them. But even though they did, what was I gonna say? No, even though they did, the guys had demons on them. Their whole point, the whole point of these guys, these scholars, is that they've basically been sent with a job to do, which is to talk shit. These guys can have the truth transmitted plainly to them, and because they've had their ears covered, they've had their ears plugged, they've had their eyes covered, they it will never be able to be received, which that's how the Lord had it set up. But then what Yahushua was doing, that's something you can't even contest. But hey, we're saying all the people were amazed and said, "Is this not the son of David?" But when the Pharisees heard it, they said, "This fellow doth not cast out devils, but by Beelzebub, the prince of the devils." So yeah, scoffing, talking smack. Because why? Because as far that was their job, to resist, man, to try and slow progress. But then what's the, as far as for the truth, this is something that it can't even be slowed down, man. It can't even. It's basically everything is being done for this thing to be pushed further forward, man. And it's the same, back then, the same now, because you have those same demons that have been resisting for the longest time. Like vocab. You'll have these different scoffers. You'll have people, what's the word? Like, come crawling from under a rock, and then say, okay, no, actually, no, the 12 tribe signs, and that's incorrect. This is the correct one. Some guy who he just sprung up into existence, and then he's he obviously watched videos because otherwise he, how's he get into the truth? But he's gonna come out like just had it delivered to him directly, and then he's just like, no, but it's just no, but this is what it is. Cause why? Cause the spirit ain't dealing with him. As far as for with this truth, it's there's men that've been set up, and there's a line that's been set up from it said I'll send Elijah again, so Abba Bivens, before the coming of the great and terrible day. So it's basically been established from there and then built upon and compounded over time, to where that's why you had the truth coming out through the process of time, and right now, the apostles of GMS, that's really the big origin point currently. But then what, people are going to demonize because, the servant's not great to his master. It was the same for when Yahushua was on the scene. It said, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Yeah. Because even with what, those unity camps, they ain't really, there can't be no unity. Because what does the scripture say? Can two walk together except they be agreed? If you're not in agreement, if you're not in accord, if you're not as one, then it's not going to be possible for unity to exist. How if someone's coming to the unity, and then you say, okay, so we need to know the prophecies. We need to know what's the MOTB. And then one guy's going to say it's having sex with white women. One guy's going to say it's Christianity. One guy's going to say, okay, it's the, the micro C hip. They're going to come away completely confused. And that's really how it is with that's really how it is with the what's it called? With this truth, man. It's got to be clear, man. It's got to be straightforward. It's got to be, and that's how the truth is. It's plain. For the people that can't get, it's a spiritual block that's been put on them. You have the angel that was sent out. He said what? They've essentially to deafen and to blind what until until the destruction comes. These guys have got to be kept in that destroyed state till the destruction comes, man. Because of why? As far as for them, their role's been set. They've basically been given over to destruction. Because why? It's these, just as you had, the wicked scribes and Pharisees, the scoffers back then, they're doing that same job. And that's the thing which is what, and that's why it's like even having you have people that'll be dipping into like 5 or 6 different different camps, listening to all kinds of different and then mixing and matching the doctrine, between like, oh well, I like this bit, but then also I like it. Well, as far as the hell is that? You gotta be fully convinced in your own mind. So you really gotta, knuckle down and be like, okay, which one is it? Because what does it say? Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And yeah, that's why as far as when it comes to the truth, there's only one truth, man. Any question that's being put forward, you're getting one clear answer. Everyone's in agreement. Just as Yahushua and the Mosai said, I and my Father are one. They're in accord. They're in agreement. We're also coming through in accord, man. In agreement. As far as with GMS, you ain't meant to go to one camp, and this guy's telling you, oh, the MOTB Oh, let's talk about, you put them white women away. Take those big round white booties from them white women and stop. But then you go to, you go elsewhere, and that guy's gonna say, okay, well, no, actually, it's that Christianity. If you come out of the church, you ain't got that anymore. And then obviously that's confusion, but you're gonna get the same answer anywhere you go. They're gonna tell you it's that micro C hit. Because why? That's key. That's one of the key ones. That's a prophecy where if someone ain't sure, they don't know, that's gonna be to their demise, man, to their doom. Which is why it's been spoke before, even before it was mainstream, before it was popping, before it was cool, that was being taught. There was a period like when you would barely see it being utilized in any form. When it wasn't even, well, what do you call it? Even having them in like Oyster cards over here in the UK, like the travel cards, in what they called in debit cards and whatnot. There was a period of time that shit was not really utilized that much, but now it's everywhere. Even like clothing tags and whatnot. That it's become used any and everywhere. It's become way more mainstream to where now that's why people are, oh. And then you already got, devices being put inside people's heads. And that's being pushed heavily now. So it's now there's evidence. This is why it's such a contentious topic, because it's coming up time and again. But those are the divisions, which is why it's like, yo, you're gonna have one clear communication. Because why? Because really there's no divides. It's basically gonna come down to, because the thing is if that's not the MOTB, well, you can just go out and get. Which is why when it comes down to it going mandatory, then you're gonna have that line drawn. Because what does it say? And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And if I by Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your children cast them out? Therefore, they shall be your judges. Yeah. So just as you have guys casting out demons, then it's like, what are they doing it as well through the power of demons? But then what they're coming against Yahweh Shai with that. Why? Because they're that opposing force, man. They're the adversary. They're the enemy. And it's really they're of their father the devil. Because they can't see what the righteous work has been done. Which is why that's the thing as well. It's like with what the apostles are doing, it's a righteous work. You being roused, being able to hear that, and being given a warning. You essentially hearing, seeing the signal fire, hearing the horn be blown. Which is what you're seeing. You watch the videos. That's spiritually what's happening. The horn's being blown. You're being forewarned. Because then it comes to, the prophecies are going through. Then you if as long as that's the thing, if you're watching with understanding and you believe, you have faith, then when that time comes, then you'll be like, oh, okay, I see what it is. It's now clear what what's actually been going down. And if by Beelzebub if I by Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your children cast them out? Therefore they shall be your judges. But if I cast out devils by the Spirit of the Most High, then the kingdom of the Most High has come unto you. Or else, how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house? So yeah, if I cast out devils by the Spirit of the Most High, then the kingdom's come unto you. And that's the reality. The reality is just as with Yahweh Shai being on the scene, then it's like, oh, okay, what if Yahweh Shai is fulfilling the scriptures? What if this is the man? That's why there were those that were asking, there were those that they believed, and then it was a legendary benefit to them, man. Those are Those are a day that are with Yahweh Shai. But then it's the same thing with now, where it's like, hey, the Spirit work for you to receive it, then hey, it's beautiful. Because as far as when, as and when these things go down, it's gonna be peak. That's the thing. It's gonna be, at that time of trouble, man. That time of Jacob's trouble, it's gonna be immense. You're gonna need to have that that solid foundation. Wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of thy times. So these are you're gonna need that sure foundation. But then that's the thing as well, is when the prophecy comes to pass, that's when you'll know that a prophet had been among them. That's the thing. It's like with Yahweh Shai talking about the destruction to come upon Jerusalem. When it came to pass, they would have been knowing, like, damn. Hey, who knew, man? These guys were doing all in their power to stay within the system of Rome. How many years after, 30 odd years after, then Jerusalem got put on smash. After all that. And yeah, the spirit that Yahweh Shai was doing it in, that's the same thing. You should think like, damn, hold on. And that's the thing that's really happening. It's like with the prophecies coming to pass, now what's happening in the Middle East. It's the pot's been stirring. Now you got Iran and the state of Israel going against each other directly. Now you're seeing the MOTB. These things are happening to where it's like, okay. It's like, oh shit, it's got fucking real to a lot of people where it didn't seem real before. Yeah, I'll read it one more time, just go through. So Matthew 12:22, it says, Then was brought unto him one possessed with a devil, blind and dumb, and he healed him, insomuch that the blind and dumb both spake and saw. And all the people were amazed and said, Is not this the son of David? But when the Pharisees heard it, they said, This fellow doth not cast out devils, but by Beelzebub, the prince of the devils. And Yahushua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And if I by Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your children cast them out? Therefore they shall be your judges. But if I cast out devils by the Spirit of the Most High, then the kingdom of the Most High is come unto you. Or else how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house? Yeah, so as far as, these guys, and it's, it's all through the Spirit. Because that's how it's been received and then, passed on. And freely have you received, freely give. And then following after that, then what have we seen? The words, it's just, just as back then, it was plain, who Yahushua was, but only to those, who can receive it. And it's the same for now. You deal with the truth. It's, being able to tell, like, where the truth's coming out of. It's, it's plain. But hey, that division, that, Satan be divided. These things are plainly observed. But, it's so the word can be fulfilled, man, really. Servant's not greater than his master. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom. Yahweh Shemashah. B'Shem HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom.